Okay, so we got all our parts laid out. Here's our banana jack with the nut and the lock washer for it. We've got our actual banana plug. We've got a bolt and a nut. We've got a threaded insert, and we've got our BNC connector along with our printed part. So the first thing we're going to want to do is flip this thing over. Let's get the nut and washers off of this. We're going to go ahead and put this in from the back side, paying attention to the two flat sides. Then we're going to go ahead and take our ground, plop it over the top, make sure it's in the little grooves there. We can go ahead and throw our star washer on and our nut. And then we're going to use the little tool that came with it. That'll help us get this thing on, and just finger tight, guys. We get crazy here. And then next thing we're going to want to do, we're going to put our banana plug in. Banana jack, sorry. Keep calling it a plug. That goes there. We've got our lock washer. And we've got our nut. We're going to use the other tool that came with the setup. Tighten that down. These tools are genius, by the way. This makes things easy. That should be pretty good right there. We're nice and finger tight. Next up is we're going to take this. I'm going to shove it from the bottom. This looks like it might be fairly tight. Yes, it is. Start in the hole. Let gravity help us a bit. And this screwdriver. Let's put it through here. And get it turned so it goes into the captured portion. And press down on it right there. And that should, perfect. Now we can just drop this nut in here. Use this. Get it on top. Same tool again. This thing going. Tight. Okay. And lastly, I've got my heat set iron. Kick this thing on. If I can remember how. There we go. It's going to heat up pretty quickly. We're just going to want to take our heat insert. This forward a little so you can see better. We're going to go ahead and set that place in the top here. We're almost heated up. We should be there. Just going to go ahead and put our heat insert on the top. That's nice and warm. Just going to wiggle it down, melt it right in. You can just use a soldering iron if you don't have one of these. I'm just fancy like that. There we go, and then I'm going to just push it down to a flat surface to make sure that it's nice and flush here. Okay, so we should be done with that. Turn this iron back off. Cool off. Okay, next up will be winding the coil. Okay, so now I've taken the wire and I've just straightened it out, and I'm taking the end that wasn't wrapped around, where there's a little hole right here. We're going to shove this up through the hole, and they say to go about 2/3 of the way up this piece right here. So do that. I'm going to give it a nice little bend here and get it in that groove. I'm going to start going around that groove. It fits nicely into that groove. I just got to make sure you stay in it here. And I'm going to go ahead and give this a little bend to the side just to keep it from going anywhere. And we're just going to apply pressure on this thing. Keep going around. We don't have to count. There's a reason for that. I'll show you that in a little bit here. But just applying pressure and giving it a twist. This thing wraps pretty easily. This is a pretty nice design all in all, gotta say. Keep wrapping this down here. I don't know if you've noticed, but I did make a mark right here with a marker. They want 7 spaces up from the bottom, and the little tiny one doesn't count at the bottom. So that mark is actually where I need to stop with my winding. So I know where to stop winding now. I'm just going to keep winding this thing. And just so you know, I plan on using this not for CW, because I'm really not a CW guy, because I'm not good at it yet. I'm trying to get better, but I actually plan on using this when I travel with my zBitx from HF Signals to do some FT8. So that's kind of what I'm going to tune my radial for. And I'm going to connect it to my Nano VNA, of course, when I do that, so I can make sure that it's the right length. And I might have to actually have a longer radial than what I have. So getting close. Looks like the next wrap around here. There we are. So at this point now, I'm going to hold this nice and tight here. Then I want to kind of just do a natural bend as I come around here, still keeping it tight. Count how many we've got here. Got 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 slots. I believe we want to loop this down right there. So let's go to the back side and count what we have here. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So I need to continue this around till we get to here. Then right here, I'll hold this as I loop down. I want to keep it tight still. I want to get down into this hole. So I'm going to go ahead and cut this right now. Cut a little long. So cut that off. And I'm going to shove this in this hole here. Grab my pliers. Good yank. Nice and tight. Go ahead. Should be a nice natural. Okay. It's pretty good. It's nice and tight. I think we're good. So now we're ready for the next stage here. Okay, so off camera, I went ahead and cleaned everything up with a piece of 220 grit sandpaper. I hit this a little bit better right here. I did both ends. I did this end and I did the top end as well. So I'm going to take my pliers, put a nice little bend in the end of this here. I'm going to try and get this thing down in. Sort of connector here. Keeping it nice and tight like we had it. Okay, that looks great. And this other end, I'm going to just take this little bend on it right here on the end. A nice 90-degree bend on it here. And then we're going to shove this in here. And we basically just want to make contact here. Give this little squeeze too. Bend just right. I want to just position that right on that. Up there. I'll hold this with my finger while I bend this part back towards it. We're actually going to have a good connection here. Okay. So we're ready to solder. I'm going to switch the camera angle real quick here and we'll get to that. Okay. So we're going to start by putting a little bit of flux on this here. Get all fluxed up. My soldering iron should be ready to go here. Clean the end real quick. Okay. Okay. That taken care of. That cool for a second. Let me reposition the camera and I'll get the other angle ready for you. Okay, so now I've flipped it upside down. It's basically sitting here upside down. We're gonna go ahead and hit this with a little bit of flux as well. Now, the one thing we want to make sure we don't do is apply pressure downwards because the heat will end up driving this screw like it did on the threaded insert into the 3D printed part. So I want a gentle touch here, guys. Get in here, start heating this thing. That looks pretty good. Now we immediately want to flip it back over. We're going to go ahead and put this. Screw this antenna in, be light with it. You just want to make sure it sits completely straight and upright so that when we do put this in, make sure it cures straight up and down. As you can see here, straight up and down. So we're going to let that cool off for a few minutes and then we're almost done. Okay, so the last thing left to do involves our banana plug here. I've taken the screw out, the little set screw, and I've also removed the insulator from it. So don't technically need all that, but here is the set screw. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this wire and I'm just going to wrap it around here. So get like a perfect size. And when we do that, so I've got it wrapped around the screw right now. Give a nice little tug here. What that'll do is that'll allow me to solder it. Okay, so now that I've got the loop formed around the screw, I'm just going to go ahead and get this screw started here real quick. They're started. What I'm going to do is I'm going to put this inside here. A little too much there. There we go. Start putting the screw back into it. Okay, so we've got the screw through the connector, and we've got the little wire wrap we made over the screw. Now it's time to get some solder on this thing. I'm going to tip my soldering iron up. And my idea is to fill all of this up with solder. So that looks pretty good to me. So wrap things up with the Just Okay Mini. It's just okay, man. It is a pretty good antenna. I did hook it directly up to my Nano VNA, literally like this. Ran my counterpoise out and extended the antenna all the way. I did find if I retracted just the last piece here, this last bit down all the way at 14.074, which is what I'm looking for my FT8. I was getting about a 1.3 SWR, which is perfectly fine to me for such a tiny little antenna. So anyways, nice little build. If you need one, head over to the Ham Radio Duo and pick yourself up a Just Okay. Thing's great, man. I love it. Nice design, nice work, nice kit, nice packaging, great video. Can't say enough. Go see those guys. If you want to learn some CW, go see them as well. All right. 7.3s, KK7BVY out.